All right, let's talk about AI. In just the next few minutes, we're going to build out a personal strategy for you to actually master it. And the real goal here, it's to stay way ahead of the curve. But, and this is the important part, without that feeling of complete burnout.
So, be honest. Are you feeling just a little bit overwhelmed by AI? If you are, you're not alone. I mean, it's this constant, relentless flood of news, new tools, updates. It feels pretty much impossible to keep up with, right? But here's the thing, staying on top of it all has never been more important. And here's why. Just look at this number. We're talking 539 times billion dollars. That's what the global AI market is expected to be worth by 2026. So let's be clear. This isn't some niche tech trend anymore. No way. It's literally becoming a foundational layer of the entire global economy. And it's not just some future thing either. It is here right now. Get this, a whopping 88% of companies are already using AI in at least one part of their business. So what does that mean for you? It means knowing your way around AI isn't just a nice-to-have skill on your resume anymore. Nope, it's an absolute career necessity. Okay, so here's where the problem really hits home. Think about your inbox. The average person gets about 121 emails a day. Now imagine trying to dump a fire hose of AI news on top of that. Yeah, it's a perfect recipe for total burnout. So to have any chance of managing this, we need a system, a real strategy. So let's dive into that system starting with level one. We're calling this the daily signal. The big question here is how in the world do you find what actually matters amidst all that daily noise? Because look, the challenge isn't finding information about AI, it's everywhere. The real trick is filtering the useful stuff, the signal from all the junk. And you know what? The best way to do this isn't to try and read more, it's to read smarter. And that's where a few really well-curated newsletters come in. They do all the hard filtering for you, boiling down the most important news into a quick 5-minute read. And if you look at the top players in this space, you can see how it breaks down. For your all-around daily news and tools, the Rundown AI is pretty much the go-to. If you are seriously crunched for time, Superhuman AI is amazing. It gets you everything you need in just 3 minutes. And for all you developers and engineers out there, TLDR AI is perfect. It gives you all the technical details you want without any of the fluff. And this quote from the founder of the Rundown really hits the nail on the head. He says, they crowdsource real-world use cases. And that's the magic word, right? It's not just about what's new and shiny. It's about what is actually useful. It's about finding practical tips and tricks you can literally copy and apply to your own work, like today. Okay, so how do you turn all this into a simple, repeatable system? Easy. Just follow the 2+1 rule. It's super straightforward. Step 1, pick just 2 daily newsletters to get that broad overview. Step 2, add 1 weekly, deep dive newsletter that's hyper-focused on your specific role. And then the final step, you can even use an AI digest service to roll them all up into one summary. See? This system gives you all the signal with none of the overload. All right, so you've got your information flow sorted out. You're getting the right signal. So what's next? Well, now it's time to actually use it. And that brings us right to level 2, building your modern AI toolkit. And this is so important because how we use AI is changing, like right under our feet. We're shifting from the AI of today, which is basically just a separate chat window, right? You copy, you paste, you hope for the best, to the AI of tomorrow. And that's an AI that's a deeply integrated layer in everything you do. It's the difference between a clumsy assistant you have to babysit and a true context-aware collaborator. So what does this new AI-powered workflow actually look like? Well, we can break it down into 3 main categories. First up, you've got AI-powered IDEs, or coding environments, that don't just see one line of code, they understand your entire project. Then you've got these incredible AI assistants, like Claude, that are designed for really complex thinking and reasoning. And finally, you've got AI review agents that act like a second pair of eyes, automatically catching bugs and security risks before they become a problem. And the whole point of all this is really simple. The best tools, they shouldn't feel like another app you have to manage. They should just feel like a seamless part of your workflow. They should reduce friction, not create more of it. They handle the grunt work so you can focus on the big picture, the creative problem solving. You know, the stuff that we humans are actually good at. Okay, you've got your daily info stream handled, you've got your modern toolkit. Now it's time to zoom out. We're going to move from the day-to-day tactical stuff to the big picture strategic stuff. This is level 3, creating a real long-term learning roadmap. This is how we go from just keeping up to achieving true mastery.
And I love this quote from Andrew Ng, who's a true pioneer in the field. He says, AI is the new electricity. Just think about that for a second. Like electricity 100 years ago, AI is poised to literally transform every single industry. And that right there is why getting a real foundational education in AI is so critical for pretty much any career you can think of.
So what does that kind of formal education even look like? Well, a typical university curriculum, like the one you see here, is built on these 5 core pillars. You start with the fundamentals, computer science and math. Then you move into the core principles of AI itself. And from there, you branch out into specialized electives like robotics or even the super important stuff like AI ethics and professional practices. So how can you chart your own path to this deeper knowledge? Well, the great news is you've got tons of options. You can go for university-backed platforms like Coursera to get those formal credentials. You can use interactive platforms like DataCamp for hands-on coding practice, or you can get super specific with certifications for your exact role, or even dive into the really crucial curriculum around AI safety and governance.
Okay, let's put all the pieces together. We've talked about the Daily Signal, the Modern Toolkit, and the Learning Roadmap. Now it's time to build your personal stack. This is all about combining those 3 levels into a single, personalized system that is tailor-made for you.
And the absolute key here is that there's no one-size-fits-all answer. It's all about tailoring the stack to your specific role. You can see how different it looks for different people, right? An executive is probably going to lean into newsletters like The Rundown and a high-level certification. A developer, they'll get way more out of something like TLDR AI and a deep dive university curriculum. And a researcher might focus on super specific sources like Import AI and AI safety courses. But here's maybe the most important piece of advice in this whole thing. Whatever you do, remember that feeling of being overwhelmed we talked about at the beginning? We have to avoid that at all costs. So don't try to do everything at once. The rule is simple. Start small. Pick just one new newsletter or one new tool, build a daily habit around it, and only when that feels easy and natural, then you can expand from there. And that really brings us to the final, critical question you need to ask yourself. You can build the perfect AI stack for your life today, but is it ready for tomorrow? Because remember, this isn't a one-and-done project, not in a field that moves this fast. The real goal, the ultimate goal, is to build a flexible system for learning, a system that keeps you ready not just for what's happening now, but for whatever is coming next.